Hello, everyone.
Guten Tag.
Buongiorno.
Вітаємо вас на третьому Київському міжнародному меблевому саміті. З нами сьогодні учасники з 20 країн світу. Їх аж 2700. Це меблярі, виробники дверей, архітектори та дизайнери. Робочі мови саміту будуть російська та англійська. Для того, щоб слухати саміт українською мовою, будь ласка, виберіть мову французька у Zoom. Так, це не жарт. А, на жаль, розробники Zoom не знають про те, що їх додаток дуже популярний в Україні, і впевнена, що після завершення нашого саміту вони виправлять цей недолік. For English, please press on in Zoom for the language.
Приветствуем вас на третьем международном мебельном саммите. Саммит организован Европейским банком реконструкции и развития в рамках инициативы EU for Business Европейского Союза. В течение дня модерировать мероприятие будет Ольга Иванченко
и Андрей Мельников, руководитель Агентства по развитию бизнеса.
Ольга Иванченко, координатор проектов Европейского банка реконструкции и развития. В течение дня из киевской студии мы будем коммуницировать со всем миром, мы будем связываться с ведущими экспертами со всего мира и узнавать из первых уст, что происходит в разных странах в мебельном бизнесе.
Сегодня у нас в программе опыт Ближнего Востока, Юго-Восточной Азии, опыт Кавказа. Узнаем про ключевые тенденции и тренды на этих рынках.
Конечно же, мы поговорим об украинском рынке.
Мы как раз двигаемся на американский континент. Мы ждали этой презентации как раз уже с утра. С нами на связи Майкл Вагнер, это американский мебельное соединение, и Alfred Bolton, выставка
High Point
Exhibition.
Выставочная компания High Point Exhibition.
Да, ребята, сможем ли мы запустить видео?
Hi, I'm Al Bolton. Welcome to High Point Exhibitions. I'm Tom Conley, President and CEO of the High Point Market Authority, and we're here in High Point, North Carolina. High Point Market Authority is a nonprofit organization who's been around about 18 years. And our mission is to recruit and retain buyers for the twice-annual High Point Market. We do this through a wide variety of methods, including direct mail, email, social media, and any available marketing tools that we can have. And we also provide all the infrastructure for the market. We do registration, we do transportation, and we do a wide range of services, including on-site registration, so that when we get buyers here, they continue to come back. I've been here a little over 9 years, and in that period of time, we've been able to increase the total number of buyers by about 20%. We've also seen a real bifurcation in the market, both in terms of designers and brick and mortar, such that we now have about 50% brick and mortar retailers who come to the market and about 50% of designers. So we have an extremely diverse, very interesting, very exciting market. Anywhere from 1,600 to 2,000 exhibitors twice a year. This town comes alive. We would love to include you in the market. High Point Market Authority has been very privileged to work with High Point Expositions and Al Bolton. We have worked with Al with bringing in delegations from all over the world. He's extremely conscientious and works very hard to make sure that each and every market is a success. And that's not easy because international exhibitors face a lot of challenges when they come to the High Point market. Al makes it easy, and he's had so many repeat customers. That's why we keep telling people use Al, because he's the only guy that really gets it up for you. Hello, I'm Al Bolton with High Point Exhibitions. I'd like to thank Tom Conley for his very gracious introduction. We've been working with Tom since he became the President and CEO of the High Point Market Authority some 8 years ago.
High Point Exhibitions has been operating for the last 10 years and actually specializes in organizing international exhibitors to come, show, exhibit, and have the best chance possible for success their very first time. Our experience has shown that one of the most important keys to success in bringing an international exhibitor to High Point for the first time is to have a working, strong partnership with a company or association in the country that the exhibitors are coming from. We did extensive research and travels and are happy to announce that we have named EF Cluster, which is managed, owned, and controlled by Любовь Сукненко, as our exclusive agency for the Ukraine. Любовь has responsibility for everything High Point Exhibitions does and the High Point Market Authority. We determined several years ago that one of the most important keys to success for the first-time exhibitor coming to High Point is that they be evaluated, analyzed, consulted with as to the right products, the right business practices, the right procedures to have a good chance in the U.S. market of doing business short term. 3 years ago, we partnered with Michael Waggoner, who is the president and CEO of America Furniture Connections. Michael's different from your normal business consultant. Michael has a little over 40 years worth of experience in the actual home furnishings industry, having been the international sales director for companies such as Bassett. Michael also was president and CEO of Great River Trading, which was a huge bedroom resource from China into the United States. And most recently, Michael has worked with 5 or 6 different companies from different countries very successfully, preparing and bringing them to market. Michael's going to now share a few of the keys of success that he has found in his 3 years of concentrated working with companies like this. And hopefully this can be helpful for you.
I'm Michael Waggoner. I'm the creator and the president of American Furniture Connection. I've been working with Al for the last few years to bring factories from other countries into the USA market. Over the past 49 years that I've been in the industry, I've brought people from a large variety of countries into the US market. I've been to international furniture exhibitions around the world. I've worked as vice president of sales for Bassett Furniture Industry, traveled the world, met lots of people in furniture factories throughout the world, and eventually brought some of them into this market. So I know what it takes to be able to succeed in this market. We have a 3-phase program that has been thought through very carefully based on what really works and what really gets results that we need and that you need. And we're here to tell you all about the details.
So we are again online. I know that Michael is already in our virtual studio. Michael Wagner, hi, can you hear us?
Yes,
Hello.
I can hear you.
Michael is the CEO of American Furniture Connection. We also saw the presentation from High Point exhibition, and the people who are interested received valuable information how to be part of it. So thank you for such informative video. And guys, the question to you both, we would like to ask you to present a roadmap how to enter American market. With us, not only Ukrainian furniture manufacturers, it's a global event. We have by now 23 countries with us and around 3,000 of participants. So the screen is yours. Alfred, please.
And also, together with Alfred, I see with Michael, I see with Alfred. So welcome both to our virtual studio, and screen is yours.
So I'm going to proceed with my portion of this video. Hello, I'm Michael Waggoner, President of American Furniture Connection. You've just seen me in the previous video. I'm located and live in High Point, North Carolina, USA today. I'm working together very closely with High Point Exhibitions and Любовь Suknenko, a VF cluster in the Ukraine. I think you have just seen this video. So today I will speak to you about 5 important topics. The first topic is the North America furniture industry. I'll give some details about that. Second is the 5 major customer types in 2 groups that we have in the USA market. Without an understanding of these, you likely will not be successful in entering this market. Number 3, how do you reach the above market segments? I'll go into a little detail about that. Number 4, what furniture style is now popular in the USA? And I have a video that I can share with you during that segment. And finally, number 5, let me just say emphatically that due to the changing world that we live in, the USA door in the home furnishings industry is today wide open for new suppliers, and EF Cluster can help you to reach them. So let's go back to the 5 important topics that I mentioned. Let's talk a little bit about North America furniture industry. It's a huge industry. Last year, it was about $124 billion US dollars, plus another $10 billion US dollars for Canada. So collectively around $135 billion at retail in North America. Number 2, 5 major market types. There are 2 groups, Group A and Group B. Group A is sometimes referred to as the go direct method of entering the US market. Group A is consistent of standard retail home furnishing stores. We call them brick and mortar stores, and they sell to the end user or the consumer. The interior designers, they have a studio where they work. They also sell to the end consumer, the end user, the consumer. Then there's e-commerce, a huge factor in today's market, growing by leaps and bounds. This is, of course, such as Amazon, Wayfair, Overstock, and maybe 10 or 15 other smaller ones. They sell also to the end user, consumer. So those are in the Group A. In Group B, we have USA Home Furnishing and Manufacturer. You can sell to them as well. They sell to the brick and mortar retailers and interior designers and e-commerce customers. Also in Group B, you have the importer distributors. They sell to brick and mortar retailers, interior designers, and e-commerce customers. Finally, in number 3, how do you reach the above market segments? Well, the manufacturers and the importer distributors can be sold directly, and we can help make introductions to you, for you to them. The others will require you to have some USA office and inventory stock in the United States of America, and we can show you and guide you on how to accomplish that. Number 4, what furniture style is now popular in the USA? Well, there are many styles that are popular, but at the moment, for the last 3 or 4 years, rustic contemporary has been quite popular in this market. And I've assembled a photo collection of samples of rustic contemporary, which we can show now. Someone's going to have to put them, there we are. We can just go through those quickly and get some idea of combination of metal and wood, combinations of all wood, different types of wood. Some of you may refer to this style category as eclectic. And certainly the style of eclectic has been popular in Europe for quite a while. So these are samples, examples of product in dining room, bedroom, accent furniture, and occasional furniture, TV display furniture, home office furniture that are currently quite popular in the USA market. It doesn't mean that if you cannot make this product, you cannot succeed in this market. It's simply showing you some examples of some of the more popular styles that are currently in vogue in selling in the USA market. The woods that you see in these samples are various woods from around the world. There's no magic wood that only sells here and no other woods. If you have the right product, you can find a customer in the US market who can end up selling the consumer your product. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I'm Al Bolton. I want to thank Olga, the EU Bank, everyone that has spent all this time and effort in putting this seminar together. It is a massive undertaking, and you are to be commended on your great job. Thank you. Also, thank you for letting us be with you. Part of my purpose in even talking with you today is to reinforce the importance of having someone on the ground in the Ukraine working on the High Point Market's behalf, being able to answer your questions each day, being able to provide you the information that you seek. But even more importantly, it will be the efforts, especially in Eastern Europe, by the EF Cluster and Michael Waggoner. Because Michael has put together a 3-pronged program, 3 different phases, that he will come in, work with you, evaluate your company. He will evaluate your product line, make recommendations on how to adapt, make it better, make it more apropos for the US market. Michael will treat you as if he is your sales manager, preparing you for a new venture into probably one of the largest markets in the world. The coronavirus hit us all terribly, terribly. I mean, it took all of the wind out of our sails. The US was locked down for between 8 to 10 weeks, depending on the location or the physical location of the stores and the manufacturers. But even more importantly, the entire supply chain has been disrupted. Beginning in the 2nd and 3rd week of May, stores lockdowns started being lifted in time for the famous Memorial Day weekend, which is a big sales weekend for home furnishings in the US. And year over year, sales were up some 18%. In other words, people no longer can get on airplanes. People cannot go to some exotic destination for their holiday. Instead, they're staying home. or they're staying within a small geographical location to their home. We are finding new home sales. We are finding the sales of home furnishings in the United States is approaching an all-time high. And if annualized at the current rate, where we started in the middle of May, and here we are toward the end of July, it'll be the largest sales volume year for home furnishings that we've had ever in the United States. And that's with the GDP that's forecasted to be down about 6.5% to 7%. But home furnishings is the bright star. Now, where's the opportunity for everybody else? The opportunity is things between the United States and China are not rosy as they once were. If you look inside American retail, the majority of the products are either Chinese or Asian made because we gave away our industries for the last 30 years. With the coronavirus, with the trade relations between the two governments, Michael said in his opening remark, the time has never been better for new suppliers, new resources, new companies, even if you're just making component parts. The time has never been better to get a foothold in the US market. Our April High Point market was actually canceled because we were in lockdown. However, American furniture retailers demanded to see new product because new product on the scale that they are ordering cannot be done online. When you're buying for a 150 store chain, it's a little different from buying a new pair of Nike tennis shoes that if you don't like them, you can send them back. It's hard to send back 10, 15, 20 containers of new product. So they have to touch it, they have to feel it, they have to sit on it, and they want the face-to-face with the person who's representing that product so they can put the best partnership together for the future. In the middle of June, we had a pop-up market in High Point, and these were the retailers who demanded to see new product because the April market had been postponed. It was private jets, it was people coming to High Point, and over 250 showrooms open for a 3-day period, even in the midst of the pandemic. And people, we found, need product. The supply chain in the US has not been fixed yet. The demand is greater than the supply chain can supply. If there was ever a great opportunity for the Ukraine, either selling directly to retailers or as an OEM manufacturer, selling to another manufacturer who already has the supply chain, the agents, the distribution in the US, either of those two ways, or even direct to the internet, the e-commerce people, now's the opportunity. If we could flip to the next slide real quick. This just shows you the US just sort of slogs along at 3, 4, 5% increases per year. And this is just the US part. This doesn't include Canada that Michael had talked about. Last year, it was 114 billion at retail. And, you know, that figure challenges the entire EU. That figure even challenges internal China domestic market. But what's encouraging is the US consumer. They have this pent-up demand. They know that they're going to stay home for a longer period of time, and they want to make their homes as nice as possible for all the time that they're basically restricted from travel. We don't see travel actually coming back. with cruise lines, airlines, hotels results. We don't see it coming back really until a vaccine is widely distributed. So this opportunity is going to remain for the rest of this year, and the opportunity is definitely going to be in the first 6 months of 2021. Can we go to the next, please? Why the high point market? You all have heard all kinds of claims, this, that, the other. But the key is the high point market in downtown High Point, North Carolina. It's the size of 10 city blocks. And it's just showrooms. And most of these, 90%, are permanent showrooms. And the retailers come twice a year. They view the new product offerings, they do the deals, and it's approximately 2,000 exhibitors. Now, when we say 75,000 people come to town, only about 35,000 of those are actual buyers. The rest are actually people that support the market, like you and me. But the key is there are over 180 buildings involved. Now, the largest single owner of those buildings is a company called International Market Centers. And they're owned by Blackstone Holdings. And incidentally, they also own the Las Vegas market, and they also own the Atlanta home furnishings market, all of those properties. The emphasis for the United States, if you had to pick one market to make your introductions, it has to be High Point, because that's where the largest number of manufacturers are. That's where all of the retailers have to come. If we can go to the next one, please. The people that come, Tom Connolly said early in the video that the number of retailers for brick and mortar, actually over time, they're decreasing because the large companies are getting larger and they're buying up the smaller, the mom and pops or the smaller store. The largest single increase in buyers coming to High Point are designers, architects, people trying to increase their offering directly to the consumer. The design trade is a wonderful opportunity for a smaller manufacturer who cannot produce 10, 15, 20 containers per month for the big retailer. But if you had 5 or 6 design firms that you were doing business with, it could be a nice little business. We can go to the next slide, please. Because we've been locked down and because the business is starting and rolling back, we also have introduced something to complement the High Point market. It's never to replace a physical market. A physical market will stand the test of time, will always be necessary for the vast majority of people who are making major buying and selling decisions. However, we've been trying to figure out how in the world do we complement that physical market and get the physical market's offering into more of the people's hands worldwide. In partnership with the world's leading trade publication, which is Furniture Today for Home Furnishings, been in existence since 1988, basically controls the world's market share, shares it very well with people like Mobile Mart in Germany. Furniture Today is one of the largest customers of somebody you've already had on your presentations, CDIL out of Milan. In fact, a lot of the research information that Furniture Today publishes under their own label actually originated in Milan with the very same people that you use for your research. But we've created what is called the total home market. And the total home market went live on June 8th of this year. And I encourage you, just Google it or search for totalhomemarket.com. You'll go to the website and you'll see the presentation that major people like Ashley Furniture or Cheryl Furniture or Manwa Holdings, the presentation that they're putting out to the market, where they can rotate products, they can talk about positioning statements. They're getting into the hands of the right people, and it's complementing their markets. Now, Total Home Market, the High Point Market, and even Las Vegas and Atlanta. If any of you have any needs for any of those entities, funnel those requests through the EF cluster, through Любовь Сукненко. And she's been to High Point. We've worked with her, we've trained her. She can speak very comfortably and with authority everything we say and do. The most important project coming up, though, is making sure that for anyone who really has an interest of entering the U.S. market, consider High Point and consider to do it properly with the help of someone like Michael Waggoner. With that, I know it's been a long day for each of you guys. I mean, good grief. I don't know whether I could have stayed there since you started at 10:30 this morning. And my hat's off to you for being vigilant and working your way through this. But thank you very much for including Michael and myself in your presentation today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's really extremely useful information from the American continent, and thanks for understanding this is really unique and first online experience of the Furniture Summit, and here from Ukrainian studio, many hours from with you. So thank you for understanding. And